back. Can you guys hear me alright? Just let me know. Thanks, JB. Okay, thanks. So I'm assuming you guys at the back can't hear me too well. My name's Jess. Welcome to Wildlife Sydney Zoo. I'm one of the zookeepers here. So at the moment we have a 1:30 talk. I'm going to give you guys some information about Australia's most iconic animal. Now some of them are awake, which is pretty rare. So represent Banjo at the top there. Koalas are sleeping for about 20 hours every single day. So when one awake, it's pretty good to see that happening. And you will notice as he's awake, he'll probably eat that whole entire time. Now koalas that sleep for about 20 hours a day means that they can't really go any longer than about 2 hours or so being awake, and they really shouldn't be awake for that long. When he's eating as he is, they'll probably last for about 45 minutes and then back to sleep he'll go. Now have a really good look as he is eating there. What he's actually going to be doing is smelling the branches, and he's just smelt that leaf as well. He's going to use that really big nose, pull that branch towards it, smell the toxicity of the leaf, and work out whether or not he can eat it. Now what he's eating is eucalyptus leaves, and there's eucalyptus all in this enclosure here. But majority of that leaf he can't actually consume, and that's because it's really toxic and poisonous for them to eat. Now koalas pretty well have eucalyptus all to themselves, and that's one of the reasons why they're eating it. It just means it's really hard for them to actually find that food. So majority of leaf in here is actually too dry, too toxic, and he's going to be using that sense of smell to work out if it's got a lot of water in it and then not too much poison or toxicity. Now koala's eyesight isn't too strong. It is that sense of smell that they're using. So just by looking at the leaf, they can't tell what they can and can't eat, and of course we can't as either. Now Banjo is only about 15 months old, so his mother is actually the one closest near him. She's 11, her name is Erica, and then we also have Samara, who's just at the front here, who is also 11 years old, one of our oldest girls. Now at the back we have Gumnut. She's going to go for a bit of a walk. Thank you, Gumnut. Show off her really cute face. So Gumnut is in her terrible 2. She's 2 years old, and she'll become an adult at about 3, maybe 4 years old. So she's not fully grown yet. She still does have a little bit of growing room to do. And she's definitely one of the cheekiest koalas that we have as well. So all females stay together in a general home range, especially when they're rearing their young. All the males go off and they disperse to find another mate. So our males are just up the back there. You can see Yuki in a little position, a water position. That's Yuki. He's also in there with Bruce. And on the right hand side you have Aaron. Now Aaron is a whopping 10 kilos. Now I can't see him from where I am right now. Head over there a little bit later, see if you can find him. He's our largest in our collection. So he's very handsome, and we are hoping to breed with him this year. Now males in the wild, very, very solitary. In fact, all koalas are solitary, and they don't like too much interference from one another. So when they are eating, just like Gumnut's doing right now, they like to push each other out of trees. They'll jump from tree to tree. These guys don't really have affection. It's mainly they want to find what branch they can find so they can eat. So I've never seen a koala fall out of a tree, but I've seen them be pushed, and I've especially seen them miss a branch and accidentally fall out that way. But when these guys are sleeping, they don't just topple out. No such thing as drop bears. They do have a flat bony plate that's on their bottom. You can actually see it from Gumnut, especially if you guys on the side there. Her bottom is completely flat. So they have this flat bony plate that they're sitting on. It's like an inbuilt seat, and that's one of the reasons why they don't just topple out and fall. Now she has to basically find this food before she runs out of energy, because eucalyptus is basically like us eating something equivalent to celery. It's really low in nutrients and really low in energy. So that's why she's awake, she has to quickly find that food before she loses all that energy and then has to go back to sleep again. So this is why koalas are solitary. They don't have enough energy to hang out, to play. They don't have enough energy to maybe mate if they find each other and basically eat. So the males are up the back, females are in here. We introduce them when it's breeding season at the end of the year to the start of the year. And once they've mated, the males will go back inside their enclosure because they don't have anything to do with the rearing of the young. So after that, we wait about 35 days, and then that's when she gives birth. So she's only pregnant for about 35 days. So when Banjo was born, he was the size of a jelly bean. Now when he's born, they have no fur, they have no hind legs, he doesn't have any eyes, doesn't have any ears yet. All he has is pink skin, a nose, and a mouth. Now if you check out the girl's claws there, even on Gumnut, she actually doesn't have the ability to pick up her baby once she gives birth and puts it inside her pouch, being a marsupial. That pouch only completely flat to her stomach, but the opening is about the size of a belly button. Just looks like a dirty piece of fur. So instead, when Banjo is born, he has to crawl through Erica's fur, find her backward facing pouch all by himself, just using that sense of smell. Once he finds the pouch opening, he has to find his way in to a teat. Once he finds that teat, he has to then start to suckle, and then that will expand in his mouth, and that's his job done. It expands, it locks him in that mouth there, and that's when he'll start to develop for about 6 to 8 months inside that pouch. Now once they leave, they'll be giving mum lots of cuddles, and she will have a piggyback ride with them when she's moving around until about that 12-month mark when they're an adult. And it's really important. She pushes him away, teaches him not to cuddle up to her anymore, and she has to teach him to be an adult solitary koala. So this is the lifestyle of them, only found on the east coast of Australia because that's where we have the most eucalyptus. You're looking at about 600 to 800 different species that we have. Koalas eating about less than 10% of that. Now a lot of the time people ask us, once they've learned about the eucalyptus leaves, why on earth they actually eat it. If it makes them sleep for 20 hours, if it's really low in nutrients, and if it is toxic as well. Once upon a time, it made a lot of sense. It means you're nice and safe up in those trees there, meters high in the air, away from terrestrial predators down on the ground. Now for predator that was a boreal, like a large python, was to make their way up in the tree. The fact that majority of the time they're staying still and sleeping means that that python that relies on movement can't actually see where those koalas are. It also means that they've got all that food to themselves all year long, being an evergreen. The most important thing, water. It's basically where they're getting all their water from. So really rarely in a koala's lifetime will it have to seek water. With the exception of a heat wave, maybe a drought or a bushfire, these guys in here especially will probably never have a sip of water to their lips ever because they're getting all the water that they possibly need from that eucalyptus. Now this was working really well for koalas until we started expanding our own populations here on the East Coast. So with lots of land removal, especially farming, unfortunately koala numbers are declining. So it's really important, guys, we keep koalas around. They are probably Australia's most iconic animal, and we do want to keep them for our further generations to have. Now with our koalas that are in here, our breeding program is really important for us and for you guys as well. So we ask you to help us breed our koalas, and to get an animal to breed, they need to be really nice and relaxed. So no waking them up, please no noises at them when you're taking photos on the outside of the enclosure. If they wake up, it means they're going to get more distressed, disturbed. We need them back asleep. So guys, no noises, please no poking or anything at them as well. And if you are coming in for your koala encounter, please abide by our no-touch policy. That's the #1 thing. When you guys come in here, you're entering the koala's bedroom. So if you're asleep in your bed, you wouldn't like someone sort of knocking on your sheets or turning the mattress around. Same thing with their branches and leaves. Let them do what they need to do, and we're pretty honoured that we can get nice and close to these animals and they let us do that. Now if you do want to ask me any questions in between my photos, please feel free to ask me. I'll answer as many as I can in between the photo sessions. Otherwise, thank you for joining. The next number is number 15, I think. So if you are number 15, I'm taking over from JB. Hang around. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your time at Wildlife Sydney Zoo. Thank you.
Thank you.